Alright, so all of you are wondering how my literacy career got started. Well, got started off when I was a young kid, when I was living in my home with my parents. They used to read me bedtime stories and talk to me and all kinds of things like that, try to get me to talk. And basically, they taught me how to speak, read, write, and they got my literacy career off to a good start. Alright, so the first part of my literacy career was my speech. I learned how to speak when I was about 2 years old, and my parents, they would try to get me to sound out different words like dada and mama and stuff like that. And my parents taught me the basics. They taught me my basic first words and stuff like that. And then I had to go to school, which there I had to talk to teachers and other children. Well, basically, my friends, I learned that I can talk a certain way with them and say certain things, but I have to filter those things out when it comes to talking to my parents, my teachers. For example, I learned bad words when I was around my friends or something like that. I might have learned to act a certain way and say certain things, be polite when I'm with my parents. I started off my writing career as young, probably 3 year old, writing coloring books and kids' books and magazines and stuff like that. But then, as I got older, when I was probably about 5, my parents put me in school and I started doing schoolwork. I remember the first assignment we had to do in school was write the ABCs. So, from the song we learned when I was a young kid, my parents, we went to write our A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on. So, writing in school was not fun at all. This bad boy right here. Growing up, I spent a lot of time on this thing, and writing texts and sending all kinds of messages through this became like second nature to me. This basically taught me how to write and read at a higher level, and this is probably one of my key factors to learning how to write and read at a higher level as I got older, because I know I struggled a lot when I was younger with reading in class and reading comprehension and stuff like that, but as I grew older I started texting people a lot more often and sending emails and all kinds of stuff like that. Now there's all kinds of social media networks where, like Facebook, constantly checking Facebook, put pictures on Instagram, writing comments about this and that, and all kinds of things like that. So definitely, my cell phone was a major factor in me learning how to read and write properly. Taste the tangy tomato flavor. Well, there you have it. I can read. So, where did I learn to read and write? Well, my parents started out reading me bedtime stories when I was little, and eventually I picked up these books and started reading them on my own. And these books to me, they were a lot of fun and interesting and exciting. They had lots of pictures. I remember some books had pop-ups and uh, there was buttons on the side where you could press that would play music, or they would make some kind of noise. And to me, that was a real interesting way to read when I was younger. But um, then I started reading some longer books. I remember reading Dr. Seuss series, which to me that was a really exciting book. In particular, I liked Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss, and that had creative pictures in it. So when I was young, I always enjoyed those. So up until this point, reading was fun for me, and I enjoyed it. But then it came time where I had to go to school, and my reading experience sort of changed a little bit. I found myself getting bored and mind boggled with large words I have never seen before, and this was very hard for me to understand. I became very frustrated at some of the readings we were having to do, and eventually I began to slack off, and I disliked the reading, but this put me even farther and farther behind than all the other kids. So I was getting really behind on my work, and I was not even reading my work. I was just pretending I knew what was going on and just trying to talk my way through class, trying to BS my way through all kinds of stuff. And came to a point where when I was younger, I wasn't doing so good in school, and I had to get a tutor when I was little to help me read better. But when I got my friends and my cell phone, I started writing and reading a lot more, and I kind of learned a lot better ways to read and all kinds of stuff like that through texting and writing messages to my friends in class when we weren't supposed to and doing stuff like that. But for me in school, reading was not fun at all, and to this day it still kind of isn't. But I understand now that my schoolwork benefits me and helps me deal with future things that I'm going to have to read and future things I'm going to have to write. So right now I'm kind of to a point where I know I have to read. I'm going to put up with it because it only helps me in the long run. So my literacy up to this point has taught me that my speech, my reading and writing, all of these skills together have made me the literate person I am today, and I'm putting all these skills together to hopefully one day become a successful businessman. So we'll see where that takes me. The end. I want to thank my parents for teaching me how to speak, how to write, how to read. They were the ones who got me started.